understanding as to how things work.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Namaste to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Lall Show on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. It is 19 hours 20 in Guyana, right across the Eastern Caribbean. We come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around this time to tell you this is the Lall Show, where we tell it as it is. This evening, our regular members of the panel are not here with us today. Who knows where they are? But of course, we've got a new one here with us this evening, Miss Mortley. So with that said, I'll hand things over to the man of the moment who's going to make his presentation. Once time permits us, we know it's a holiday. You might be in bed, might be out of bed, but you got things to do. We'll make it as short as possible. But once time permits us, we're going to take your telephone calls. Sir, namaste to you, and the floor is yours.
Namaste to you too, Josh. And Miss Harris and Bernard. Maybe they're celebrating Eid today. Or maybe they're still in the movement with the labor people. You know, yesterday was
Labor Day.
their day. Oh yes, what a beautiful Monday it is, right? All day Monday?
All day Monday.
All day Monday. Joshua,
Yes, sir.
the horror movie Guyana is looking at continues in this land. And if we don't put an end to it, your children and grandchildren will jump out of their sleep living the nightmares of this horror movie our leaders are leaving in this country. I will be playing a recording from the Honorable Bharat Jagdeo of what he said during a press conference, a rare press conference he held a few days ago. Vice President Jagdeo does not want to release the 9 billion US Payara report because it will land in Lall hands, and you know the rest. He afraid that that land in my hands. So guys, sit back, relax, and wait to hear his beautiful voice. Oh, he also called my name in Burby's last week too. He told the Bottom House meeting that Lall, the song nice, real nice. But if the government is to do, meaning spend out all the money now, eat it out, the oil money, then there will be nothing left for future generations to benefit. I had a smile when I hear that. Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, I did a TikTok and said the 700 million US dollars, the crumbs we get from the oil money, the government is throwing it all into the 2022 budget. Come 2023, it will disappear in thin air, and Guyana will still be looking the same haggard out way it's looking in 2022. 700 million American dollars can double all the public servants' salaries for the next 10 years. You hear what I said there, Josh?
Yes, sir.
For the next 10 years. Or, if you take 250 million US, we can use that and forever end the blackout in this country. It will help the business community and the manufacturing sector to compete with the world too. 250 million US can go to build a new harbor bridge without having to take a loan and pay interest. You hear that? Yes. Without taking a loan and pay interest. And the remaining 200 million US dollars can fix up all the roads in the entire Georgetown. Come 2023, the public servants will not get 17% increase, which is 5 million American dollars. The roads of Georgetown will be worse than what it is today. The future oil money will have to be used to pay the loan plus the interest on the harbor bridge. And Guyana will have to put up with more blackouts come 2023. And guess what, Josh? The 700 million US, like I said, will gone, disappear. Any bets on that one? Let me say namaste to all you beautiful people. Like I said, it's a beautiful Monday. Yesterday, we celebrated Labor Day. Labor Day for me, guys, is about work. Hard work and constant effort to benefit you, your family, and your country. From my heart, Joshua, I wish I can say to all the Guyanese workers a happy Labor Day. But my heart would not allow me to whisper, much as say happy Labor Day to the laborers of this country. And that is because of the reality we face in this land. Today, we are also celebrating the end of Ramadan. And I would like to wish all, especially my Muslim brothers and sisters, Eid Mubarak. Happy Eid. And life goes on. I was invited for a dinner. Having born and grew up into a Muslim home, in which I would have loved to attend, but because of this program I do every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, it's difficult to even eat these days. It's true, you know, Josh.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. If Eid didn't fall on this program night, trust me, I would have been there to eat up all those lovely meals. Namaste. And to my Muslim brothers and sisters, I say Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. It's without a doubt, Joshua, all the leaders of this country, especially our Vice President Jagdeo, is creating slave camps each day that goes by for our future and future generations. What I said there will become clear tonight as I go through this program with all of you. And if there's a doubt in your mind, please, I beg you, at the end of this program, you know the phone numbers, 624-6456 or 622-2222. I'll be sitting right here to hear your comments and take your phone calls. I will continue, Joshua, to say every new oil project Guyana has a right. Guyana has a right. Guyana can demand money that this country can develop overnight and enrich every citizen of this land. Guys, what I'm about to say to all of you is based on one single project, not the entire oil industry, or for projects we have already have. One single project I will be dealing with tonight. The Payara 9 billion project. The Payara project I'm talking about, Uncle. Only the Payara project. So please don't get confused and mix up. And for those of you who would have heard me saying this over and over, I want you to know it has to be said over and over. The future of this country and its people depends on it. It is not a stop, gap and go. It's not something to just glance over or glide over. These issues and projects is the make and break of your country called Guyana. And if it doesn't sink in your head, you will forever be where you are today without any upliftment in your lives. Guys, this third oil project, Payara, Jagdeo signed away without getting a single cent from it. He did so knowingly, proudly, and secretly. You guys remember he hired the Canadian woman who never did such a study or review, in which that report is still a secret. Yes, a secret on such a large, humongous cost it comes with. Basically, Jagdeo hired an incompetent stranger to review a $9 billion US project that Guyana has to benefit from, along with the dangers and recommendations. Yeah, man. That's what he did. Let me ask you this, Joshua. Would you hire a standard 3 child to examine a business project you're going into with a partner, in which that child has to make recommendations as to what she finds in the business project? Would you do that? No. She has to tell you all the dangers and whether you'll make money or not. Or you have to scrap the project. Would you hire a child to do something like that for you? And when the child hands you the report, her findings, you hide it from your family. In a nutshell, this is what our President Jagdeo doing to us with that 9 billion Payara project. 19 months already passed since President Ali. He himself and Minister Vikram Bharat made a promise to release that report, and we are still in the dark waiting on it. Am I clear? You will get a chance, uncle and auntie, to hear Vice President Jagdeo's response when questioned by my reporter on the Payara report last Friday at a rare press conference he held. Let me say to all of you, there are 40 million questions that need answers from this man in charge of this $1 trillion oil sector. Instead of making himself available, he disappears and evades the nation, just not to answer any question at all on the oil industry. Can anybody tell me why? I sent 2 reporters to Borbies last week after seeing an ad in the newspapers, how the vice president and a team going there to meet residents. I sent them there so we can use that opportunity to question him on the oil sector. They came back and say, boss, no questions were allowed by reporters. Only questions from the residents were entertained. we all smiled and said, we wasted man hours and expenses to go there. I don't know what went through his mind. But 2 days after the Borbies meetings, he called this press conference in Georgetown. I was so happy. The answer Jagdeo gave to one question my reporter asked him should bring out every dog in the streets to fight for every drop of your oil and your resources. The answer he gave, Uncle and Auntie, made me want to vomit. If there was any doubt in my mind that Vice President Jagdeo is selling out Guyana with its wealth, it has been completely erased by this one answer he himself gave last Friday to this simple yet most important question my reporter asked him. The question to him was, when will the government release the study promised, Mr. Jagdeo? The Payara $9 billion project. Just listen carefully. I'm going to play him so you can hear his beautiful voice and how he answered that question. Could you play that recording for me now? Go ahead.
Answer my final question.
Yes, go ahead.
President Irfan Ali, the Minister of Natural Resources, and yourself would have given a commitment to make public the reports that were done by Ms. Alison Redford on the review of the field development plans for Yellowtail and Payara. But those reports led to
but it's not just, so I don't see a problem. I don't know if there is a problem. I don't think I spoke of that report, but if they made that commitment, it should be made public. Because there are lots of, in the review, there are lots of issues that are subsequently clarified. So if they write up a report, often it's based on what the submission is. When they start the engagement, the negotiation, that is when you actually end up with the final stuff. So the report of a review, the review itself doesn't mean that they have everything correct, because they need more information of them. So let me give you an example. We were saying the cap in stock. We will need a cap in stock. So if you have a blowout, you need one in the country, and then a subscription to an international company that can deploy the rest quickly to the country. So Exxon was arguing it's too costly to put in a cap in stock in the country. And so the end of it, so that would be in all the reports, two different views and stuff. At the end of the day, when we sit down, we said this has to be there. So don't look at the review reports too much, because we've seen a lot of reviews where the consultants believed that they had a view, and then when the clarification was given, it wasn't really a big issue. So I think you should read it that way. But if the commitment was made, I don't see a problem with releasing the reports. It's how these reports are used selectively and to disparagingly. So if you see something like that, and I know you may not do it, but your boss gets it, and there is some hanging statement here, then suddenly it becomes a major issue. But I don't see a problem if they promise that, fine. And it was not just we also had the same company also reviewing that review Payara one. They had a lot of experience. And then they won the bid to review also, not just this Alison
Bayface Consulting.
Bayface and then the Alison Redford. So if they promise it, I'll ask them.
So you agree that it should be made?
Yeah, but if they promise, I didn't promise that. I didn't promise that one. I promised all the licenses.
Yes, including Payara.
Yes, licenses. Yeah, all of the licenses.
But do you agree that?
Because the licenses are the final product. It's like giving you the like the working papers. You know, like I'm doing a maths equation and you're a teacher, you want to see your working paper. And then you put 2 scratches there in the working paper, which hasn't been clarified out of context. So the final product is the license. All of those are working papers to the license. Anyhow, if they promise, I'm going to ask Vic. And if he does, then he should give you. Okay.
Uncle, the question to him was, when will the government release the study promised? Nobody asked him to explain anything. I will explain to you what I think I understand he said just now. But let me say this. Jagdeo's answer to that question was rude, disrespectful, hostile, and arrogant. He said he did not promise to release the report. But if the President and the Minister Vikram Bharat promise to do so, they should. Jagdeo is being disrespectful to the President. How more rude can he get? He is the junior to the President. He is a worker. The President is the boss. If the President give a commitment to release the report, and if Jagdeo is the man responsible for the oil, then he's obligated to release the report. Am I correct, Josh? To say that President should do so when he is the head of the oil sector and have the report in his hand, under his control, is contemptuous to the President. I want to tell President Ali that the people of Guyana elected him as President. They elected him to lead, not to be a follower or to have someone lead him or dictating to him what he should do and what he shouldn't do. It is Jagdeo's responsibility as the head to release the report. He cannot shift that responsibility to the President. He cannot shirk from it either. The President's commitment to release the report is like an instruction, guys. Yes, Jagdeo must comply. This is why he was put in charge of the oil sector. But he is playing games with this nation. You heard some explanation he gave. We'll deal with that later. You guys remember when the heat was turned on for full cover insurance from ExxonMobil, what he did? Yes. He shoved it over to them children at EPA and said they're dealing with that now. On that most important issue, he was passing the buck. Yes, he threw the buck on to those children. Oil spill will come. No doubt about that. And he will pass the blame down the road to those children. You know what he will say? In his typical fashion, oh, I am so disappointed at what they did. It happened and we are not covered. That's what he will come out and tell Guyana. I can tell you his next move on the oil sector. That's how much I know this chap. You remember he was so disappointed that we couldn't find people to audit Lisa One, even though 2 companies came out and said publicly they sent in an application to do that work. This is the Jumbie game Jagdeo playing with our future and future generations. He's making himself busy running from the press while he blaming and accusing other people. Anyone else but himself. He never take blame for nothing, even throughout his presidency. Years now, I know this man. It was no surprise to me when the reporters came back from Borby's telling me they couldn't ask any questions at the Bottom House meetings. That's how he do it, Uncle. Yes, that's how he ran this country throughout his tenure. He would call a press conference, and when he was president, and tell the reporters he is there only to deal with one subject matter, and that you can only ask questions on that issue alone. That's how he gets his way, and the country knows nothing. Same thing he did in Barbies. They said they were there to listen to the people's problems and take their questions only. The reporters had to sit there and smile, listening how a resident praising them for fixing a road. My God. Let's go back to the question posed to him on that Payara review. Before I explain his answer, let me give a quick briefing about that project report. I will only tell you 4 things which I think is very important for your ears. The first has to do with how much Guyana is set to benefit or get from this project. Excuse me. The second has to do with the danger posed to this country with this project. And the third are recommendations on how to correct or address the issues raised in the report. And of course, the fourth is if we can get con and how much we can get con. Those are only 4 things that I single out for Guyana to look at in the review report to decide whether we go ahead with this project or we scrap the project. This is the report that Guyana is waiting on 19 months now since he authorized that license. Excuse me. Instead of releasing the report, the Vice President tell the media that they should go to the people who made their commitments to release it and let them release it. You hear that, Josh? Imagine President Ali promised the world to be transparent in everything the government does. He said that that report will be made public, and now Jagdeo, his worker, saying, go to the president and let him release it. This is the I-pass and rudeness coming from our vice president. The president should give him a marching orders. Mr. President, what are you waiting for? Show the man the door. This man has been a danger for Guyana since he was a minister back in 1999. He has done nothing whatsoever that a single Guyanese can be proud of. And I have said it many times. To name something, name one, please. I beg you people, please name something that Jagdeo has done that you can be proud of, that this country has benefited from. Or maybe if he's listening, he can name something. He doesn't have to call in. He can text it in. I always said that we have to thank President Granger for releasing ExxonMobil contract. Under Jagdeo, man, I don't know when you would have had to wait. Forget that. Because almost all the contracts under him is secret. They were never released. And the excuse he gave was a confidentiality clause they themselves insert in all those contracts. That's what he's good at. That's what they do in every contract. Guyana can't see a single report of a study done on one single project which finished 19 months ago and which was done by a Canadian woman who never did such a study for any country in the world. How do you like that? Who in their rightful mind, Joshua, hires such a person? Only Bharat Jagdeo. That's the reason he can't release the lady findings. He's ashamed to tell this nation that the woman did nothing, or if she did anything of substance, he's afraid to release the dangerous, damaging, and horrible findings, yes, in that project. This is how this leader disgraces himself and damages this country and its future. Yes, by doing things like this and keeping it secret. Jagdeo, from the inception, has always been like this, uncle. He ducks, he dodges, he runs away when confronted on important projects and issues. National issues. That's his culture, and that is what he cultivated in his land during his reign. It comes out very clearly in how he responded to that one single question my reporter posed to him on that $9 billion American dollar Payara project. Could you play back that project, that thing again, man? Play it back, let the people hear it.
And sir, my final question.
Yes, go ahead.
President Irfan Ali, the Minister of Natural Resources, and yourself would have given a commitment to make public the reports that were done by Ms. Alison Redford on the review of the field development plans for Yellowtail and Payara. But those reports had to
Okay, but it's not just, so I don't see a problem. I don't know if there is a problem. I don't think I spoke of that report, but if they made that commitment, it should be made public. Because there are lots of, in the review, there are lots of issues that are subsequently clarified. So if they write up a report, often it's based on what the submission is. When they start the engagement, the negotiation, that is when you actually end up with the final stuff. So the report of a review, the review itself doesn't mean that they have everything correct, because they need more information of them. So let me give you an example. We were saying the cap in stock. We will need a cap in stock. So if you have a blowout, you need one in the country, and then a subscription to an international company that can deploy the rest quickly to the country. So Exxon was arguing it's too costly to put in a cap in stock in the country. And so the end of it, so that would be in all the reports, two different views and stuff. At the end of the day, when we sit down, we said this has to be there. So don't look at the review reports too much, because we've seen a lot of reviews where the consultants believed that they had a view, and then when the clarification was given, it wasn't really a big issue. So I think you should read it that way. But if the commitment was made, I don't see a problem with releasing the reports. It's how these reports are used selectively and disparagingly. So if you see something like that, and I know you may not do it, but your boss gets it, and there's some hanging statement there, then suddenly it becomes a major issue. But I don't see a problem if they promise that, fine. And it was not just we also had the same company also reviewing that review Payara one. They had a lot of experience. And then they won the bid to review also, not just this Alison
Bayface Consulting.
Bayface and then the Alison Redford. So if they promise it, I'll ask them.
So you agree that it should be made?
Yeah, but if they promise, I didn't promise that. I didn't promise that one. I promised all the licenses.
Yes, including Payara.
Yes, licenses. Yeah, all of the licenses.
But do you agree that?
Because the licenses are the final product. It's like giving you the working papers. You know, like I'm doing a maths equation and you're a teacher, you want to see your working paper. And then you put two scratches there in the working paper, which hasn't been clarified out of context. So the final product is the license. There, all of those are working papers to the license. Anyhow, if they promise, I'm going to ask Vic. And if he does, then he should give you. Okay.
Uncle, Auntie, I listened to a little part of Jagdeo's press conference, and I can clearly say this man is sick and needs help. I want to believe he's going out of his mind. Let me now explain his cock and bull story he told the reporter at that press conference. You heard him. Apart from him saying Ali and the minister should release the report, he said the report is not important and give an example of a capping stock. Uncle, a capping stock is a vessel with special equipment to seal a well when it blew out. Yes. This is one of the things that would have come out in the report to which Guyana should and must have at all times. He said, Exxon said it is too costly. You hear that? You heard him, man?
Yeah, I heard.
My God. It should be a crime for anybody, much less the vice president, saying those words to a nation. Exxon said it's too costly. Now that we are hearing these words from Jagdeo's mouth, Joshua, are you still going to allow him to get away with something as destructive as this? Auntie, that capping stock he talked about and many other recommendations are in the findings of the report. That's why he doesn't want us to see it. So a blowout will happen and the entire region can be destroyed before one of that capping stock reach Guyana. Yes. You see what danger this man is putting Guyana in? Suriname don't have capping stock vessel in place and them not even producing oil yet. Them have it there in the event of a blowout searching for oil. When they start pumping oil, they may have 5 instead of 1. Jagdeo telling this nation that Exxon said it's too expensive to have in this country. Then he went on to say, the people who hired to do this study for us, we shouldn't take them seriously. Can you believe that, man? The issues the people raise, if they did raise them, is not a big deal to him. Can you believe that too? So why did we have a review in the first place if we shouldn't take what the review has seriously, Mr. Jagdeo? A review that has to make recommendations. A review that should look out for Guyana's best interests. A review that will hold ExxonMobil responsible and accountable for the entire project. A review that can tell us if we will win, lose, or scrap the project is not important for Jagdeo. Well, it's better he come out clear and tell ExxonMobil to take the oil. Do what you want, man. Because like nothing is important in this land to this man. Auntie, capping stock that he talk about is like a fire engine to a fire. a capping stock is like armed security guards to a bank. Basic yet most important requirement. When you have all these FPSOs in action out there pumping oil, this man telling us ExxonMobil say it's too costly to have this vessel that can seal off a well blowout. Let me ask you guys, whose interest this man looking out for? Is he safeguarding and protecting this country and the region? He trying to pass off something as big as this as if it's nothing? Telling us don't read too much into the review? Come on, guys. Come on. How can we read into something in the first place, Mr. Jagdeo, that you're hiding from us? Huh? No wonder you're telling the president and the minister to release it if y'all want. It doesn't shock me, because I know if you have to release it, Guyana will never see the cover of that report or the review. Jagdeo knows exactly what will happen. He said it to the reporter, and you guys heard him when he said your boss will get it and it will become a major issue. That's what he's afraid of. Afraid of what I am doing right now with it. Playing parts of what he said for you to hear and expose the Baranansi story he tell in Guyana. He doesn't want to give us that report. He knows. All Guyana will see the danger we face with that project. How it only benefits ExxonMobil and not a single thing to Guyana and the people of this country. What is going on in this country, uncle, is pure evil. This is not wrongdoing anymore. It's outright evil. Then y'all has asked me to be respectful to these people. One guy said, Glenn, like you don't like that man. Today he said that. Let me say this. It's not that I don't like this man. I don't like what this man has been doing to this country. And Glenn Lall can only be Glenn Lall. I can only say it the way I see it and know it. For you to understand what is going on.
Exactly.
If I don't do it, who will? Let me ask a simple question. You guys understand anything he said there? The girl asked simple. You guys promised to release the report to see if Guyana getting con. And you hear what he went on to say. His words offends me. Man, you don't have to listen. You don't have to listen to, man. You don't have to listen to this program. And I don't mean it in a rude way, guys. If you think that I am going after your vice president. No, I am just being Glenn Lall. I love Guyana. I love this country. I think I love it more than any one of you. I born here. I grow here. I live here. And nowhere else. This has been my land from birth. And I will continue with this mouth and this mind God Almighty grant me with to play my role in the best interest of every citizen of this country and that of my family.
Yep.
I have nothing against Jagdeo. I have nothing against Harmon, Granger, nobody, or Norton. All I want them to do is the right thing. The right thing with the people of this country's resources so that they can benefit from it. Let's move on with this Berenancy story. 3 times he said, one after the other. He didn't promise to release the report. And if the other two promise, then they should release it. Why he, who heading the oil sector, does not want to release that? Or even insist that the report be released to the public? In the interests of clarity and transparency, Mr. Jagdeo. Why? You working for ExxonMobil or for this country and its people? Why else would you insist that you didn't promise to release this report? Huh? How much more you're going to protect ExxonMobil and the oil people, man? And how much more the people of this country will sit down and hear these Berenancy stories you're coming out with every now and again? Like I said, brothers and sisters, many times, you don't get robbed on the royalty of 2%. You're getting raped on the profit sharing. You're getting ripped off big time with the expenses each day they throw at us. And now when we can use Payara to at least get some dollars in our pockets to help the poor people in this country, to increase salaries, Jagdeo telling this nation the review not important. He not promised to release the report. A report that will sink Guyana further into part-time jobs for the people in this country. That's what he promised them in Berbice last week. Part-time jobs. And he doesn't want to release the report for us to see. Guyana, can you trust this leader anymore on your future? After all that he would have done in this oil sector, including trying to hide this report from us? How can you, man? I cannot trust him. I have no regard for what he says. I don't believe a word, much as a sentence, comes out of this man's mouth. Then he started at the press conference, smirking when he addressed the audience, telling them the license is the final product and not the review report. How you like that one, man? Auntie, please listen to me carefully. How can the license be the final product when a license can only be issued on the basis of the findings and recommendations of the review? Joshua?
Yes, sir.
This is how the man is trying to mix logics with cow dung and wants us to buy that. What is this man telling us? Is this man listening to himself? Or does this man really believe what he's talking? Man, Joshua, this man believe he talking to a set of goats or donkeys and only he got sense, man? Huh? He said the review is like a working paper, like you're doing maths in school. You put 2 scratches on a paper and then you scrap the paper. So the review paper didn't mean nothing to he.
Exactly.
He just signed away the license without even looking at the cover of the scrap paper the people presented. I say that, uncle, because the people hand the report to him And 1 day later, he issued a go-ahead to ExxonMobil for the project. This is the oil leader Guyana got, talking this nonsense to us and try to get all of us to buy into this crap. Let's wait and see when he will have a next press conference to give us more Berenancy stories. You may have to wait at the end of the 5-year tenure they have. Any bets on that? If you want to bet me, you can bet me. He will not hold an next press conference. Like I said, you got 40 million questions for this man to answer. Man, Joshua, we have gotten absolutely nothing. Not a blind cent from the Payara project. The fourth project that Jagdeo signed off 4 weeks ago, Yellowtail, Guyana got not a blind cent again on that project. That review report will also be treated the same way by Jagdeo as he did with his Payara. This time he might tell y'all, go ask Lall for the report, he got it. Oh, what a nightmare you guys have to wake up with every day. I am sick and tired of what's going on in this land. I glanced at the Stabrook News today and also felt offended as a Guyanese. Not with the newspaper, but with what the union leaders said in it. What they're fighting for. 2 huge photographs with workers patrolling the streets of Georgetown in the traditional manner were on the front page with 2 large headlines. Today's Stabrook News. One of them read, Fitug wraps government over minimum wage. Wants initiative to support poorer families. Isn't that offensive, Joshua?
Of course.
In an oil producing country, man? Huh? The second headline with another union leader reads, Lewis rails at cost of living, blasts government for ignoring bauxite workers. The second fastest growing economy on earth today, according to Ashni Singh and Bharat Jagdeo. And union leaders begging government on Labor Day to increase minimum wage to $300 a month, 60,000 Guyana dollar. When the people rent alone is more than that. When will our union leaders come to their senses and recognize this is a new Guyana, not the old one, and that they have to change their whole approach, their mentality, and stop asking for $300 a month? When will you guys come out of this 2% mentality and start seeing your worth, your value, and that of the people's value, man? Huh? When will you guys get a better understanding of the powers that lies in your hands so that you can use it not to beg for an increase of $300 a month, man, but to demand that $300 a day? When you guys will understand the enormous wealth that God Almighty, our Creator, has blessed us with, that these leaders are just giving away to foreigners? Huh? When you guys will wake up, man? Let me say this to the union leaders. Instead of taking the workers in the streets, begging for an increase, you guys should bring them out and demand what is rightfully yours. Fight for what is yours. God give you that. Joshua?
Yes, sir.
I'm getting a little headache. Let me end by reminding you what I said earlier. The leaders of this country is creating slave camps each day that goes by for all of us and the future generations. Please, I am begging you guys, don't allow these things to happen. Let us stop them in their tracks. These reports of Payara and the fourth project that he signed off the other day should be made public so that we can see what is there for us. We can see whether we are getting anything or not. How much we are being robbed. Come on, guys. Come on. You got to stand up, man. You have to do it.
Yeah.
God Almighty did not send us here with our hands tied behind our back, our mouth bound, our ears and nose clogged up, our feet tied to. No. It is free. Our eyesight, our smell, our ears are open. And we have to fight. We have to speak up for what is rightfully ours, man. Please. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. God bless. And good night to all of you. I will take your questions now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lall, for your presentation. You listen to us on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. The number for you to call this evening, 226-7453, 226-7454. You can WhatsApp us on 622-2222 or call us on WhatsApp on 624-6456. Those are the numbers this evening you can contact us on the Glenn Lall Show. I have a question here. Someone is asking, when the VP said that if they made the commitment, they should honor it, who is the they and who really has the authority to make the report public?
Well, that's said very clear. That he's in command,
Yeah.
right? He's putting down the president and the vice and the minister.
Mm-hmm.
The man thinks he's president.
And
He
when he,
operates and behaves like that.
and when he uses the word if, is he telling the Guyanese people that he is not aware of such commitment?
Well, exactly. That's what he's doing. That's what he has been doing all his life. And guess what? He have everybody following him with every stupidness come out his mouth.
Yeah.
You know, the other day when he talked about the gas to show project, is a no-brainer to do a feasibility study. When you ask Vikram Bharat tell us we can't lose. You understand? You cannot lose. You don't know how much a project can cost you. You don't know how much you're buying the gas for. But you don't know you can't lose. Every country on earth, almost all the countries on earth that venture into that project, ball, they have to get out. If not, they run the country bankrupt.
Yeah.
And these guys telling us that is a no-brainer and you wouldn't lose money on it. And every one of the people you ask they will say the same thing. But there are some within the party that will tell you, no, Glenn, I am not in that. I will not answer that.
Yeah.
And many of them are happy with this program, but they're not coming out and say it
exactly
publicly, but silently, and within their group, who they can trust. They said it, came back to me many times, that they are proud and they are happy with this project and how I am exposing Bharat Jagdeo.
Yeah. You have a caller? Caller, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Glenn.
Raise it.
Panel. You know, it's really when you listen to these things that is going on in this country, it's really, really sad. For example, the union leaders in this country, these penny things, these petty things that they are talking about, and these minimum wage, and the amount of oil, there's just one that we producing, and we getting nothing from these things. You know, Glenn, this information that you putting out there for us for over a year now, you are behind this thing, and these people ain't waking up. They waking up to the reality of what is there for us. This world that we have in this country, is it for Jagdeo and Ali and the opposition alone?
It seems so.
When Guyana will wake up to realize this is our wealth and it belongs to us, and we vote for these people there, and these nonsense that Jagdeo coming out telling people, man, it is so sickening. Look, you do a program last week, I think, or a week before the last, with and you just referred to a few of the things and the 8 specialty hospitals that these people said they don't build, and we even got one specialty health center in this country. Look, I went to one health center. You know, they send me to a next one because they ain't got nothing. Now, when you go to the next one, they're doing repairs and sending you somewhere else. With just your baby getting a little cold, and they can't give you something for your baby cold.
My friend, please hold.
And we producing oil in this country. And when these people will wake up and coming out and marching now, and come out there and make a difference for what is rightfully. This is not the oil and the goal and the backside. You know, look at the contract with in the field there. $1,000 for 1 year for the rich land. Yeah? And you got a milk stand selling gold at the market, you got to pay them $4,000 a week. And these foolishness going on in this country.
Exactly.
And all these wealth we got, and these would have been to we this country. And then Jagdeo telling the 8 hospital and stadium here. When these dreams that he talk, man, you know, when you talk about these things and you listen to these things, your blood is boiling.
Hold on the line. Hold on the line. Hold on the line. I'm glad you raised the issue with the bauxite and the gold. You know, when you ask these people to release these contracts with these foreign companies that sits in our gold fields, they're smiling and laughing. You know why they don't want to release it? Because every month a brown paper bag goes to their offices. You understand?
Yes, yes.
And while our union leaders fighting to get us the minimum wage raised to $60,000, we can't pay the people rent, all the billions of US dollars in our gold and our diamond is disappearing day after day in this land. And nobody, not a single soul you will hear if you ask them. These are questions I want you, the citizen, when you see these people, confront your leaders, man. and bluntly ask them, what are you doing?
I waiting for the come round at my area. I telling you, I waiting for the come round here with these nonsense what they going on with and telling me these crap. I gonna ask them. They have to answer me. To me, why is all these things going on? You know, then when we got a vice president who won things in a time and run and all these time he saw up in his storm and out. I remember they had a big thing at the stage over there, jail and all of them said, is the last time you're going to see Jagdeo on the political arena and campaigning. And this man just come back again. He's giving nobody else a chance. And he's there running the things again. And nobody saying nothing. What is it man want? We're trying to gain. We can do all this money.
One second. The man has made himself into a king.
Man.
In the party. He came in, rushed up to the presidency, came out, became the opposition leader, head of the PPP party, and now he calls the shot anytime and anyhow. You know, that's the kind of man. You have a Putin style of man in this country. Putin run Russia 22 years now. You see how we have the people them? He even wants to take over Ukraine. He wants to bring the few countries, the neighboring countries, back into the Soviet Union. Put them into a dictatorial regime. He wants to be in control of everything. But it's not going to work.
It can't work. It cannot work. We can't accept it, Glenn. We cannot accept it.
My friend, the world in which we live today will not allow him to take Ukraine.
Exactly.
And you will see what I'm saying. It will come to pass. And because we're living in the 21st century, bro. We are living in a modern, in a technological era in which we see, hear, and know everything that's happened around the world. It's no more back in the days when you didn't have a telephone.
Exactly.
Or
one more thing, Glenn, before my credit my done. Listen.
All right, we can call you back. We can call you back.
This all this oil and these things that they got. And no checks. We talk about the checks and verify these bills and all these things, all these COVID tests with all these 70,000 and all these things that going on and no verification. And people need a raise of their salary increase. And people can't get these things and they're quiet. You know, when it comes to these outreach and the thanks to these people, you listen and go, they saying nothing about these oil and this wealth that we got to the people, the talking sheer foolishness and dancing around the place. Exactly. And we got all this oil out there. And this supposed to be the main topic when they come out to different parts of this country now. Oil. This is what you could do. Tell people how they could make money and what is there for them. And they're proud to tell you they make new discovery, more discovery. For who? But I don't tell you, we got to get what belongs to we. This cannot go down like that with one man Jagdeo making this country like this and got people house falling down from people and children dying and mother dying because of a man with corruption. Man, I could go on forever, Glenn. Continue, you give this information. People got to wake up. People got to wake up. They got to wake up, man. I'm telling you. The people got to wake up. This wealth is Jagdeo now, right? And when you come telling you 50 million people buying borrow with and billions for the month and all these things, people spending. Man, when I hear this thing, I tell you, my blood is boiling.
Thank you.
I just can't wait for when you start coming on this program for give me some information. I'm waiting for them. Let it come.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for them when they come. Forget you're going to hear. Let Jagdeo answer me these questions. What's going on? Because I want some gold and let me see if I can pay $1,000 for the year for it. I ain't gonna get it. Anyway, have a good night, Glenn. God bless you.
God bless you too. God bless you too. And I'm so happy that that I could feel the passion. I could feel the venom in that man. You know, I can only encourage people like you and all of you to spread the word. Let them listen to these programs, man. Read the newspapers if you can. You may not understand when you read, but listen to the programs. I do TikToks too. You know, all these guys do is fight among themselves. Jagdeo went to Berbice last week and cussed down APNU, saying that the coalition government bankrupt NIS. And the next day, Vala Lawrence responded and said, no, it's Jagdeo bankrupt the NIS. The truth in NIS, brothers and sisters, starts and ends with Bharat Jagdeo. He endangered Guyana. He endangered NIS that made NIS what it is today. He took the money and invested in the Berbice Bridge to fatten the few private investors that put in a little bit money in the bridge. One of them is his best friend. Still own the biggest share in the Berbice Bridge. And that is where he also took Clico money and invested there. Yes, that was the beginning of the downfall of NIS. This is why you people cannot get your NIS money. But what he does, he blames every day. If you listen to him and listen to them, they go about blaming APNU. The APNU government did everything. He didn't do anything. Yes, or his government didn't do anything. That's what it did. Every investment they do, they take your money, the tax dollars money, from every agencies and invest it to enrich themselves and their friends. Yeah, this is what they do. And this thing is getting sickening when you listen to them. This is why sometimes I don't want to even hear them. Josh?
Yes, sir.
It's too much, man.
It is. We'll call it.
It's not easy. It's not easy to
not easy.
put up with these people.
Caller, good evening and welcome. 226-7453, 226-7454, 624-6456, 622-2222. Those are the numbers you can call us on this
Josh,
evening.
I was told that that there's a Lall. One second. Let me take this call.
Hi, good night.
Night, you're live on the air.
Yes, Glenn. Good night again. If this country hold a countrywide protest to remove Jagdeo from there, I think he will remove himself from there and step down. And I think Mark Phillips needs to handle the rest of the war for the vice president. Because as far as me concerned, is Guyanese people put Jagdeo there, so they need him to get out now, and they gotta take the street.
Hold on the line.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Jagdeo should not be a clerk anywhere in Guyana, especially in.
I have just one more point I want to make, Glenn, before I'm telephone. If I could remember when Ronald Gajraj was in there, I think the opposition had protest for him to remove. Why they can't come together now and protest to remove Jagdeo from in there? I think I'm correct with that.
Yes, you are.
Right?
You are.
All right, we go cut off now and
Thanks. I got it. All right. The woman made a beautiful point.
Yeah.
Beautiful point. Right? When Gajraj was here, the opposition came out and was massive protests in which they pushed him away to India. That is what is needed in this country. But the opposition will not do that. They are also part and parcel of what's happening in this land to you people. And you need to understand that. You heard Aubrey Norton said, the interview he had with one of my reporters was a beautiful article. He said he want he believed that there's much more the Guyanese people can get out of the oil. And the girl wrote the story in which he agreed, and he said he is not agreed. He does not agree with the word renegotiation. Well then, if you don't renegotiate, how can you get what you want the more you're talking about from the oil? Huh? How can you get that? And he had the nerve to write a letter early in the morning asking for a retraction that he didn't use the word renegotiation. So this word renegotiation is like a poison, not only to the PPP, but also to the coalition government. Nobody wants to use that word. So then you're locked. We're locked on the issue of holding a protest to remove Jagdeo. Jagdeo can do a lot more, but the man just has to be honest with himself. He can make a tremendous difference in that oil sector. The man is no fool, very well educated and smart, but he's not using the smartness in his head to work for the people of the country. Instead, he's working alongside the oil companies. That's what we have. But I am fully in agreement with you. If we should protest to remove him and bring in exports, we should do that. I've said it many times. Trinidad had 38,000 employees working in the oil sector, monitoring, checking, authorizing every single cent the oil sector spent there, because at the end of the day, it was coming out of Trinidad and Tobago Petroleum. Guyana doesn't have nothing. Guyana doesn't have nobody. And if you ask Jagdeo that question, he doesn't have an answer to give you. Why he's not employing people. And you don't have to have money to employ people. Other than the review of the $9 billion Payara project, an audit, listen to this carefully, an audit must be done on that $9 billion to see how much we get con, see whether we get value for money. The time is coming to an end. There's only a few months left, and Jagdeo still ain't finding nobody to audit that money. So you see, this man he's not doing anything in the best interest. And I didn't want to confuse you guys with review of the 9 billion and now audit the 9 billion. Audit the 9 billion is to verify the FPSO, what I said, is spending $1 billion or $2 billion on, if that is correct, is to verify the prices they said they're paying on each one of these pipe and everything they spend out there. And that audit hasn't started as yet. He done sign the fourth one. And I did say, Josh, I did say that the third one will disappear and we will get nothing and he will not audit it. The fourth one he already signed them and didn't start the audit on the third one. So this man is basically sell out this country, and President Ali is silent. With that I say namaste, salam alaikum, and good night.
Good night, everybody.